Don, you recently had the chance to play 3 hours of Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra before it came out, which, by the way, is today. I think it's out this very moment, so you can go play for yourself, everyone, and ignore our impressions. But please don't, because we want you to watch this video and maybe find out why you should play Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. Don, tell me all about this game. It's a Dragon Ball 4-on-4 MOBA or something? What is it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's indeed a multiplayer MOBA 4 versus 4. There are some key differences, though. Obviously, there are Dragon Ball characters in this.
I hope
so. It's 4 versus 4, which is a bit smaller when compared to most MOBAs. Like, there is less room for friction. And to tie into that, there are not 3 lanes, as in the traditional MOBA. There are only 2. There's a top row and a bottom row. Where you go through a line. You basically go from checkpoint to checkpoint, trying to obliterate those checkpoints, and ultimately reach a Dragon Ball, which wins you the game.
Got it. Okay, so just to be clear, you're talking, in the level design, there's 2 basic lanes, and at the end of the Dragon Ball, you're trying to get to. Got it. So, so along the way, of course, you're encountering your opponents, I assume, fairly constantly? Like, how's the actual, like, moment-to-moment gameplay feel like? Like, how often are you engaging the enemies? Is there strategy to it? Tell me more about that.
Obviously,
and they're all humans too, right? You're playing other humans.
Yes, of course.
Just to be clear,
first 4 versus 4, you obviously should play humans, because that's the best way of playing it, to be fair. There's an introduction match, though, with versus CPUs, but it's mostly, like, against humans. Like other MOBAs, you have a bunch of enemies on the field that help you to level up. As you level up, you unlock new abilities. For example, around level 7, if you play Goku, you'll be able to go Super Saiyan, which the control method for that was really weird. You have to press in the stick and then press triangle, and then it changes you into Goku for the rest of the game in Super Saiyan form. Even if you get smacked around and thrown back to the beginning, you still remain in Super Saiyan. I digress, though. But there's a bunch of different attacks as you grow more to the highest level. And some of them are really devastating. Like, he can throw up to the hands and do the gigantic ball of light that you know from the show on a higher level. It can only do it sparingly, because obviously it's a special attack. But there's still always a basic attack, which you can do with holding, I think, X. And just keep going along and smashing somebody around. So there's a lot of good, like, moment-to-moment gameplay there. The only thing that I had to get used to a little bit is the dodging, because the dodging is very sharp. But in general, it gelled really well. It felt quick. It's less, because of the less of the lanes and how actiony it felt. It felt a little bit less strategic. It felt a lot more actiony in a few senses, mostly because down to there's not that much strategy to really think about from your moment-to-moment gameplay.
That actually kind of sounds more up my alley, because, like, when I think Dragon Ball in particular, like, I want to just go out there and just, like, you know, go ham on other people, right? And that seems like that's probably a good way of going about it. So how long were the matches? Were they pretty quick-paced, or, like, how long did it take to get to the Dragon Ball typically? And
they were honestly really quickly. I know for a fact there's a hard time limit. I will tell you, we never hit it. We were out at most. It took about the longest match I had during that about 3-hour session was 12 minutes.
Oh, they are pretty quick, yeah.
Yeah, and normally I would say most matches ended around the 9, at most the 10-minute mark.
Okay.
Where, because you travel from checkpoint to checkpoint, but those checkpoints you can only attack for a limited time, because every checkpoint has one of the gods from the entire series on there, and you basically have to break open their shields to basically blast them off the field. So you have a limited amount of time to make that happen, and once you do that, you get inch closer to the Dragon Ball, and basically they get a chance to attack, and you basically go back and forth. So there's always, like, I won't say a match can never last like 5 minutes because of how the game systems work.
Right.
But like most end around the 10-minute mark.
Okay, all good. So that's quick paced. Now how did the you gotta tell me more about this roster? Like, I used to watch Dragon Ball as a kid. I assume like all the mainline DBZ characters are there: Goku, Frieza, my boy Vegeta. Tell me more about that. And can you mix and match, by the way? Could you have like Frieza on Goku's team, like, or is it always like good guys versus bad guys? Okay.
No, you can absolutely mix and match. Especially, so the 3 character types there is damage, tank, and technic.
Okay.
Or technical. Frieza is, for example, a technical character. He's obviously in a ship and has 2 commanders flying around with him who can also individually attack and basically break open the defenses of another opponent.
Okay.
Goku is more of a damaging character, where his attacks are more immediate and quick-paced. Honestly, I felt more gravitated towards those specific characters because I just want to keep the action going. Like we've been mentioning a little bit, it's a very actiony game, and basically holding off seems ill-advised in some places, especially if you are in a 2 versus 2 combat situation. But to distract others and make sure that, for example, your teammates can go to specific checkpoints and go defend it. Like, Frieza is so helpful because it's basically a wall with him and the 2 other characters next to him.
Right, I imagine. And speaking of walls, I remember when the Frieza's form is basically a wall. Like, he keeps bulking up, right? Like, does he have access to all those thousands of forms? Or not thousands, but it felt like in the show.
Unfortunately not. Like, for example, Cell, another character from Dragon Ball Z, he's only in his perfect form, so they're basically form locked. So basically, it's one character all-encompassing at all times.
Got it. Okay, it just worked out for Goku that his Super Saiyan form is very similar to his normal form, right? So.
I guess so. Yeah.
No, speaking of like characters, you mentioned to me before that there's one character that like exists as 2 characters, but you control them at the same time, a little bit like Ice Climbers, right? Tell me more about them. Like,
yeah, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. So basically, Gamma 1 like does all the brawling, and Gamma 2 can then do all the skirmishes. Okay. So you can basically pair up and basically destroy them individually and basically interchange them. And basically they fly around as one unit, which is both fascinating but also sometimes really confusing at the same time.
I could see that. That sounds, again, very Ice Climbers like when you're first... I remember first playing with them 20 years ago. I'm like, my god, how do you even play with them? But you get used to it, right? So...
yeah.
What else do we need to know about this game, Don? Anything else that stood out to you about this Dragon Ball MOBA, essentially? Besides, which, by the way, is free to play or free to start at the least. We forgot to mention that. But yeah, anything else that stood out to you about it?
The one thing I don't like about this game, the one major thing I don't like about this game, and it seems a really weird complaint, but I'm so happy to talk about this. I don't like the menuing in this game.
Just I think like slow or convoluted, or
for example, if you want to team up in a party, makes sense. You have to go to the party menu, which is up on the D-pad. You have to press a button to reveal your own code. And then people can see your game, go in, you team up, okay, that works so far. Then, if you want to start, you go back outside of that menu, press the match button, but wait, all of the other players also have to press the match button. Which seems a little convenient, especially this being a MOBA, because you're already in a party anyway.
Yeah, that does seem a little unnecessary, so... Well, people will have the chance to experience that for themselves if they want, because it is available now, as you mentioned. Don, who do you think should go play this game? Like, what would you tell someone to make them want to go check out this Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra? Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra, I forgot a word there.
So good. If you want an actiony MOBA where your goals are always feel in sight, and I have to also admit to this, there's a lot of quick unlocks from the get-go, so you see a lot of the characters like almost right away. Like if you want instant gratification of going through a bunch of the characters that you know from Dragon Ball, and maybe some that you don't, that you want to see for the first time, it is really well suited. I think for MOBA fans, maybe it is a bit less strategic than some of the other offerings out there. But for somebody who wants to play a quick game, like an 8-9 minute game, and then feel completely satisfied with it, I honestly feel this is a really good option to have.
Well, that's great. Yeah, and how's it? I know you've played. Obviously, you play other MOBAs. How's it stack up to like other ones that are? I feel like in a similar space, like Pokemon Unite, right? Like, how did that? How did it feel to you compared to that one?
I feel Pokemon Unite is far more strategic focused because of its free lane system, but also the different ways of how all the characters control and how their attacks move about. Here it seems a bit more straightforward. Like, once again, it's technical, tank, and damage, but all of them ultimately do a bunch of damage regardless of what you pick.
Right.
So it seems to be a lot more focused on action versus action, which I do think fits Dragon Ball really well.
I think it would. Yeah, that show's all about action, right?
Yes.
Except the episodes where Goku spends 5 hours training to level up or whatever, or power up.
Yeah.
So, would you recommend this game to people that like Pokemon Unite, or do you think it might reach a different demographic? Okay.
I mean, it's a bit of column A, bit column B, right? If you really like Dragon Ball, obviously I recommend it because, like, even like it does the aesthetic justice. Like everything from the show or from the greater universe of Dragon Ball is there. Like the gods are there. There's a bunch of different characters. The aesthetic of the map is there. But also, if you are more into this type of game, it does inherently stuff different that I think it makes it interesting to give it a look.
Okay.
Plus, it's available on everything, so you can play it on PlayStation, you can play it on Switch, you can play it on your PC, you can play it on mobile. So see which platform also fits your fancy. Personally, I think I will play it more on Switch because it fits really. Its simplified mechanics really fit the Switch like really well, especially if I'm connected to Wi-Fi, I can play it in handheld mode. I think that particularly would fit really well for this game.
Well, that sounds great, and the best part is, like I said, it's available, it should be now, or if not, very soon today, and it's free to start at the least, if not free to play, so definitely check it out, or whatever. I'm sure there are paid elements to it. Do you know what those are, Don? Like, do you know how paid are?
There's a bunch of the customizables that you could get, but we didn't get a full picture of that during our preview, unfortunately.
Got it. Well, people can check it out for themselves and see if it's up their alley, or both alleys, I guess you might say, with how the gameplay works. So there you have it, everyone. Go check out Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. This sounds like it's up your alley once again. Don, thank you for watching, or thank you for being here, and everyone else, thanks for watching. Where can people follow you, Don, if they want to find out more from you about anything?
Yes, you can follow me everywhere. So Blue Sky, Twitter, Twitch at Nintendo. That's NANTNDAAN.
All right, sounds good. Well, thanks again for watching, everyone. We'll catch you later. Bye.